Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to another video. In this one, we're going to be diving into a Monday Night Football showdown. We have the Minnesota Vikings going to Seattle and playing the Seahawks. It's going to be a really good game. Hopefully, it's going to be a fun one to play from a DFS perspective as well. I cannot wait to jump into this one with you, but I do want to give you a forewarning. I am still very sick. That's why the videos have been a little off and on during the holiday week here. I'm going to do my best to contain myself from coughing every second during this video. When I do cough, I'll probably just mute my mic real quick and then just let it out, and then we'll continue with the breakdown. So just a little bit of a heads up on that one. But we're going to start this game, this breakdown talking about up here at the top of the salary list, we have Dalvin Cook from Minnesota. Dalvin Cook is going to be a key part of this game. For me, I think he is going to be a lock. I don't think he will be possible, really, at captain. I think Dalvin Cook is probably a lock for me in the flex. I'm going to want to play him over here. He's really going to be relied on heavily, and I expect the Seattle defense to struggle with shutting him down. You're really going to need some of the tackles for Seattle to step up and really make that interior tough for him to make any chunk plays out of. We can't see a Dalvin Cook carry go for 5 yards every time he touches the ball. If that happens, he will be an absolute beast tonight, and this Minnesota team will have, obviously, a lot of success on the ground. But if they have that success on the ground, that's going to be very, very tough for this offense because they're going to be taking so much time away from Russell Wilson and those dangerous receivers like Tyler Lockett and like DK Metcalf, who we're going to talk about here in a second. But coming back over here to the captain spot, that's who I'm probably going to be looking to target are those Seattle pass catchers. I'm going to be looking at Tyler Lockett, and I'm going to be looking at DK Metcalf. These are the GPP captains that I like tonight. I think DK Metcalf has massive upside in this position. Obviously, his best game of the season came against that weak Tampa Bay secondary. This Minnesota secondary is not what we know Minnesota's secondary to be from years past. It's just been absolutely easy for almost every team that they've played against to expose them through the air. It's not something a lot of people are willing to talk about because they all have this Xavier Rhodes thing is still in their head, and I get it. But Tyler Lockett's been very boomer bust after starting off very strong to the year. He's had 2 really, really tough weeks, one of which was against a very weak secondary in that Philadelphia team. I'm thinking this is a really, really strong bounce back spot for Tyler Lockett. Hopefully it is, because when I play him at captain, I'm going to be doing so confidently, and then I'm going to immediately be plugging in Russell Wilson behind him. I don't see any reason to play one of these pass catchers without the correlating quarterback behind him on a slate like this. And I did want to start with that because that's how I feel like starting your lineups with these 3 guys at the top is a very strong way to approach your tournament lineups, and then you can do a lot of different things. There's not too much low-hanging fruit, nothing super cheap that I'm looking to attack and say, like, this is something I recommend playing. I'm not really going to be looking to go down here. There's no need to go anywhere this cheap when we can get somebody like Olabisi Johnson at 2,600 over here on Draftkings. I think he is a near lock for me on both sides because of how cheap he is. He is literally the number 2 wide receiver for the Vikings tonight. Right behind Stephon Diggs, we have Olabisi Johnson at 2,600. It is a huge misprice. And I don't think you have to play Kirk Cousins behind him, but I mean, Olabisi Johnson at 2,600 is, for me, a lock on both sides, especially in cash games. But if we play him at 26, at least that's a $5,200 average. We could do a few different things here. We could go with somebody like Jacob Hollister, and then we can get up to Penny maybe. We could do a few different things. Let's see if we could get DK Metcalf in here too. Well, not quite. I wanted to see if we could. I wasn't quite sure. I hadn't played too much with the roster construction on this one, but we could probably go Kyle Rudolph and then a kicker. I think that's absolutely fine. I'm okay with playing these 2 pass catchers and a running back from Minnesota. I don't think that playing 2 pass catchers without Kirk Cousins is going to hinder you too much if you can capture all of that Minnesota offense in those players that you've played. It makes a lot of sense to me. So that's one thing I'm going to be looking at over here on DraftKings, and this is going to be a relatively shorter video compared to what I normally do just because I'm just have an overwhelming urge just to cough my head out right now. Over here on FanDuel, though, I already mentioned Olabisi Johnson. I definitely think he's a very strong play over here at just $7,500 on FanDuel. I think he's a really strong salary saver. But if you do want to go a little bit cheaper on FanDuel, I think a great tournament play is Josh Gordon at $6,500. And if you play him in your flex, you're going to be able to get up to pretty much everybody you need. We can get Russell Wilson over here. We can get Kirk Cousins as well. That leaves us with 11-5, and we can go Tyler Lockett, DK Metcalf. I don't really want to get away from Dalvin Cook. I think I would rather get to Dalvin and then get off of Kirk Cousins and then play something more like this, maybe with Chris Carson or something like that. I'm not super high on Chris Carson tonight. I think he's a strong play due to the volume that we all know he is going to get. But Chris Carson, for me, is not a lock on either site. I think he's more of a contrarian play against this Minnesota team just because I expect Seattle at home, they should just be attacking him through the air. Russell Wilson should be comfortable, and I expect him just to do his job just through the air and just through the passing game. The Seattle team, I think, will win tonight a little bit with more ease than most people are going to expect. I think that most people are anticipating a relatively close game. So my worry is that the game script might hinder Dalvin Cook, but I expect Seattle to come out firing tonight. So that's one thing that I'm definitely going to be taking into account. I'm okay with doing something like this. We don't even have to go as low as Josh Gordon. We have 8K left. We could go up to Irv Smith, who's a fine play. With Adam Thielen out, he does see targets. I'm fine with him or Olabisi Johnson here. They're both fine plays. Any of these second, third looks for Kirk Cousins and this Minnesota team are absolutely fine with Adam Thielen obviously out. I am definitely, again, like I said, looking to target this air game for the Seattle team. I think this is an absolutely fine lineup right here. I don't expect myself to be able to get away from Russell Wilson at MVP over here on FanDuel. If I did not play Russell Wilson, I would probably play Tyler Lockett or Dalvin Cook at MVP on FanDuel. But that's really all I got for you guys. So I will be live streaming in literally maybe 2.5, 3 hours. Somewhere right around 2 or 3 o'clock Eastern time. It's going to be a great live stream. I'm going to be talking back and forth with you guys. If you've already come out to those live streams, you know how they go. If you have not already, I do look forward to seeing you out there. It's been a lot of fun. Again, I know I'm a little bit under the weather. I know the video is a little shorter. Hopefully I got my point across, though, and how I plan on attacking tonight's slate. I hope to see some of you guys out at the live stream here in a few hours, and if you can make it, it's going to be a fun one, so we'll see you there.